Hey guys, thanks so much for stopping by my channel. My name is Fatima and I empower young women to find their God-given purpose through faith and practical advice. So welcome to the Soul Beauty Chat. If you are interested in these type of videos, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And in today's video, we are going to talk about starting before you're ready, called imposter syndrome, which is basically when you get all of this fear and anxiety and worry around starting a new venture because you feel like you aren't ready, you feel like you aren't qualified, or you aren't prepared, you don't have the educations and the skills. That's something that I can say probably every single creative person has dealt with. Even if you're not creative, if you're just someone that is constantly trying to grow and challenge yourself and do different things, you've probably felt this way before. I have definitely felt this way before in so many different levels of my journey. When I first started talking about faith here on YouTube, if you're new, you can go back and check out the video where I was dealing with all these emotions. I was like, I'm not perfect. Am I even qualified to talk about faith? Like, I'm not a pastor, I'm not a preacher, I don't have a church. I mean, I have a church that I attend, but I'm not the, founder of a church. Like, in my mind, in order to talk about God, especially on a public platform like such, you had to be a devout Christian for all of your life, and you have to have swear to go to church every Sunday. Like, you have to be perfect, And I think that we all kind of fall into the trap of thinking that we have to be perfect before we start something. And I've realized in my own journey that when you feel called or pushed to do something, when God is telling you to do something, you have to realize that that is His purpose being fulfilled in your life. And you can't kind of let that fear stop you from receiving the blessings that could potentially come out of following His will. So I want to share a few scriptures with you guys on this topic. So if you have a notebook, you definitely want to grab it, grab your Bible, grab your highlighter, and let's get into it. So I want to start in Ephesians chapter 1, verse 11. And this is where Paul was actually in prison and writing letters to the different churches and communities outside, basically guiding them on how they should continue to move forward as Christians. And he says in Ephesians chapter 1, verse 11, "In Him we have obtained an inheritance, having been predestined according to the purpose of Him who works all things according to the counsel of His will." So right there, Paul is already comforting the people of, Rome, to ensure that we realize that the things that are on our heart that we feel we are called to do, that God is actually directing all of this. Like, I'm sure you've heard it so many times that your purpose is predestined and, following God's will. But what does that really look like? Following God's will comes with, it's scary. It comes with doubt. It comes with fear. And although we're encouraged not to hold on to that fear, those are some initial feelings that you may experience when you are trying to walk in your purpose. You're going to have to deal with some negativity. Maybe people feel like you aren't qualified and they judge you, or they feel like you aren't prepared, you don't have enough education, or you're not good enough to do something like that. Or maybe it's all internal. Maybe it's a lot of the times we internalize a lot of these feelings and emotions and project it outwards. But most of the time it starts with us. It starts with us not believing that we're good enough. It starts with us doubting ourselves and thinking that we're not capable to do these things. So I want to move on to Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8 and 9, where it says, "For by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not your own doing. It is the gift of God, not as a result of work, so that no one may boast." I love this scripture so much because it's a reminder that, as you're moving forward, you decide, okay, God, I'm going to walk through this thing. Whatever it is that you've called me to do, maybe it's start a blog, maybe it's write a book, maybe it is to start a YouTube channel, whatever that thing is. And you know what that thing is. If you're listening to this, you're watching this, you probably already know what that thing is you're so afraid to do, but you keep feeling like you're supposed to do is. I want you to realize that as a child of God, He's giving you the strength, enabling you to keep pushing forward with that vision, to keep pushing forward. And even though you may feel like you are not qualified or you are not ready or you're not perfect enough, know that he chose you imperfect because he wants for his kingdom to get glory and not for you to get glory. So if you're already perfect, you have it all figured out, you went to school, you got all the degrees, you got all the certificates, you got all of the things that says I'm capable to do this thing all of a sudden. You did all of that, and now when people look at you and they're like, oh my gosh, she's doing amazing, or he's doing amazing. I can't believe you finally wrote that book, or you actually started that business. Wow, how did you do it? And you've checked all of your boxes in society's eyes that tell you this is how you become successful. They're going to think that that's how you did it. And you may even feel that's how I did it. Versus if you decide to completely surrender your will to God and trust that He's guiding you. He's guiding you as imperfect as you are. He's guiding you to accomplish that because He predestined it. It's a part of His purpose. It's a part of His will. And understanding that takes the stress off of feeling like you have to be perfect. So in closing, I want to share that even though you may not feel like you're ready, you're perfect, or you're qualified, but you have this idea or this thought or this passion and you don't know why, it's like burning inside of you to be brought into fruition. I want to share with you that even though you don't feel that way, stepping into it before you're ready will do a few things. It will keep you accountable. It will make you realize that because I'm deciding that I need to walk into this thing fully, purposefully, and with God by my side, I have to stay on top of what it is that I'm doing. So that means maybe you do have to go to school. Maybe you do have to get that degree. Maybe you do need to take a few classes. Whatever those things are, now maybe you can start to put those things into place so that you can stay on top of what it is that you feel called to do, so that you can learn and be fully capable to do it. But the point that I'm trying to make is that those things, those societal standards of success, do not equal success in God's eyes. So realizing that trusting God and moving forward is enough in the beginning. If you really genuinely feel called to do something, you can trust God and step out on faith and take the first step. And those other steps can come as building blocks. Those other steps can come, and you'll realize in doing it that way, you won't feel like your value is based upon those things. You'll know that you had the courage to do it because God was leading it. You'll know that you had the courage to keep going because God was there leading it. Versus feeling like, well, I was just, I went to school and I got my degrees and that's why I feel comfortable doing this now. You have to be comfortable doing it even when society tells you that you're not ready sometimes. And I want to encourage whoever is watching this, whoever needs this and feels like they are an imposter or a fraud because they want to start something but they're not ready. Or that person that feels like they're not perfect enough. They'll never be perfect enough to mentor people or to inspire people. A lot of you guys in the previous video I did talked about how you want to help people in a similar way that I'm helping people. Maybe it's through coaching, or maybe it's through, starting some type of a nonprofit or some type of mentorship program, but you feel like you can't do it because you're not qualified, you're not perfect. I want to let you in on a little secret. None of us are perfect. I'm definitely not perfect. I appreciate that you guys look up to me and admire what I'm doing, but know that I'm not perfect. I still make mistakes to this day. But what I keep in mind is that whenever I make a mistake, I can go back to square one and ask God to guide my steps moving forward. And I just want to encourage you guys to step out on faith on that thing that you feel called to do, to try, and trust God and just see how far a little bit of trust in God can really take you. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will definitely see you all in the next one. I also want to share that on my website, I'm offering a free 7-day prayer challenge. You can sign up using the link below. This challenge is designed to help you move forward in your faith journey through prayer. And prayer journaling is something that I love. I talk about it here on this channel. It's helped me so much in my personal journey, and I think it'll help you too. So if you're a newbie to all of this, if you are struggling, you need to reconnect, realign, check out the challenge if you feel called to do so, and the link will be down below. So comment down below right now and share with me, what's one thing that you feel called to do, but you don't feel like you're ready yet? Comment down below and share that with me. And if you enjoyed this, make sure you thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video.